Hello, fifth grade, and today we are going to be looking at 3-2 estimate products. Just so you know ahead of time, we will be working on page 123 and 124. I'm going to work from the It's Learning here to work with this mini lesson to kind of give you a heads up of what you need to do to estimate products. So remember, a product is an answer to a multiplication problem. We are using fifth grade vocabulary. We do not say that's the answer. We say that is the product. If I catch you guys using that terminology, you're going to be awarded dojo points big time. All right, so here we go. Starting on the lesson, scrolling over your intro. Our objective is we will use rounding and compatible numbers to estimate products. I want to go over some of this vocabulary for you because I think it's important. One thing I want you to know about this lesson is I do not want you to see you do every step and solve these multiplication problems to find exact products. We are estimating. This is a good skill when you're working with really, really large numbers. So giving you an example of some of the things that you're going to know how to do by the end of this lesson and vocabulary to help guide you in that process is rounding. You've been rounding since, first grade, but we'll do a quick review of that just in case if that's something you need to remember how to do. Compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are numbers that are a good approximation to the exact number that will give us a reasonable estimate. And remember, when we're estimating, we are just giving us a ballpark idea of how close that number is to the actual number for that attending to precision type component of multiplication. And when we talked last week about really understanding math, now we are going to be using these estimations to help us really look at scenarios and situations where you have to apply that knowledge. So what you need to succeed. At this point in time, look here what you need, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video and grab those materials if you do not have them. The first one you need is a dry erase board, marker, your math book, and a pencil. On the magic word, alakazam, I want you to grab those and pause the video. Are you ready? Alakazam. All right, you should be back by now. Let's look at this mini lesson of what we need to do. So we're going to pull out some cards from these yeet button. We're going to estimate them, and then we're going to find their products. So they'll be our factors. Remember, factors are those two numbers multiplied together. All right, so yeet, we got 22 times 67. 22 times 67. Right now, I don't want you to follow along. You have your pencil and your markers and your dry erase board stuff to the side. Watch this one with me. So let's round the numbers 22 and 67 to the highest place value, which would be the tens place. So we're looking at that too, to change that either to a 20 for the 2 for a 20 or a 3 for the 30. And you have to think of the buddy next door. What does that 2 tell me? Is this 22 closer to 20 or 30? Oh, that's a not a good looking 30. So again, rounding mountain. 4 and below, keep it low. 5 and above, give it a shove. The number that we're analyzing for rounding is the 2, right? On the ones place because we're trying to change the tens place. So does that 2 tell me to make it to 20 or does it tell me to bring it up to 30? So looking at that 2 falls to shove it, keep it low. I always like to say shove it low. Keep it low. Keep it low. So 4 and below, you keep it low. That becomes a 20. I'm going to rewrite my factors. Yikes, going too fast. That looks like a T. If I'm going to ask you guys to write your numbers neatly, I should write my numbers neatly, right? 67, we're rounding the 6 in the tens place. And we're going to use Mr. 7 as my guide. So it can be either keep it low to 60 or give it a shove to 70. So looking at this, Mr. Wishy-Washy, wash it away. We can have 60 or 70. This mouse is giving me some issues today. Alright, the magic number that's giving us that analysis or to figure out the rounding is the 7. You know, 7 falls in the 5 above, so we're giving it a shove to 70. And one way you can check is think of a number line. Think of a number line. This is how I learned this skill. You know that 67 probably falls right around here, right? Closer to 70 than it is 60. Alright, so that becomes 70. Now here's the thing. You guys know how to do this in your head mentally, right? If you're not comfortable with the mental math, you can solve it the traditional algorithm, but I'm going to think about this with mental math, alright? So these are both powers of 10, which we're working on. So let's look at the digits in that tens place here. 2, that's not a 7, that's a 2. One of these days I'll get a slate running. 2 and 7. So 2 times 7 we know. 7 plus 7 is 14. That leaves us with these 2 zeros. For our powers of 10, our number is 1,400. So again, not looking at the approximate numbers. If you multiplied 22 times 67, you're not going to get 1,400. 22 times 67 is 1,474. And I did not do that in my head. You guys know that. I used my calculator there. 1,474 is close to 1,400. So that gives us a good estimation. We're only really 74 off. So that is the process that you're going to be doing with these problems you're working on. And you're going to write, is it reasonable or is it an overestimate? And an overestimate means that you would have a number much larger than the actual number. And we'll practice that a little bit together. Good luck, and I can't wait to see your answers and your responses. Oh, not answers. What did I meant to say? I meant to say your products.